Hello everyone and welcome to Cinderful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the grey. Today's video we're going to talk start collecting Warhammer 40,000, and today we're going to take a look at the Court of the Crimson King. This is one of the many Battleforce box sets that's coming out for Christmas this year from Games Workshop. The Court of the Crimson King is for the faction known as the Thousand Suns, one of the many Chaos grand sort of sub-factions for the game. Now in this video we're going to go through, talk about the box set and talk about all the models inside it and what they do on the tabletop. We'll then take a look at some other units we can use to expand upon this box set before finally finishing off the video with a little sample army list of 1500 points for you to use as some inspiration for starting your own Court of the Crimson King army using the Thousand Suns. So, with that said, the contents of the box set. First of all, we get Magnus the Red. This is a Lord of War model. He is the Primarch of the Thousand Suns, now turned into Demon Primarch. So, he's got the ability where, first of all, if he's in your army, he has to be the Warlord. And then he's also got a couple of cool abilities where, first of all, Primarch of the Thousand Suns aura, he can pick while a friendly unit of Thousand Suns core is within 6 inches of him. Each time a model that unit makes an attack, you reroll 1s to hit. Lord of the Planet of Sorcerers, in your command phase, you can select a friendly Thousand Suns core or character unit within 6 inch, and until your next command phase, each time a unit in that model makes an attack, you can reroll the hit rolls, so you can give out full rerolls to hit to one unit, and then you can give out reroll hit rolls of 1 to everything else. He's got a 4-up invulnerable save, and he never ever suffers from the perils of the warp. He's got a gift Gaze of Magnus, where each time this model manifests a Smite Psychic Power, it inflicts D6 mortal wounds instead of D3, or 3D3 mortal wounds instead of D6, if the result for the psychic test was 11 or more. And Unearthly Power allows him to reroll psychic tests taken for him. Each time a psychic test or another witch test is taken with this model, you add 1 to the result. If this model has 10 or more wounds remaining, add 2 to the result instead. He gets to pick 3 psychic powers from the lore, and he's got his own based warlord traits as well, with the Arrogance of Aeons, where he can reroll deny the witch tests, and if your army is Cabal of Sorcerers, this warlord can benefit from 1 additional Kabbalistic ritual in each of his psychic phases. Undying Form is another one of his warlord traits. He will get standard, where each time an attack is allocated to this warlord, you subtract 1 from the damage, and Law of Forbidden Law is your warlord knows 1 additional psychic power. If your Warlord is Magnus Red, it knows all the psychic powers from the disciplines it has access to. So, if you don't go with his Warlord trait, he just gets the 3, but otherwise he knows every single one of them. Now, he's got the Blade of Magnus, so he's only got a melee weapon. His only shooting is going to be his range from his psychic powers, but his Magnus weapon is ×2 strength, -4 AP, damage 3, and each time after the bearer's force, select 1 enemy model that lost any wounds as a result of attacks made with this weapon, and they'll suffer an extra D3 mortal wounds. Now, alongside Magnus the Red, we get a box of characters as well. We get 3 Exalted Sorcerers. These are a HQ option for the army, and they're going to be interesting in how we try to put the army list together later for how you can use this box set with what we have. Now, this Exalted Sorcerer, you can have a couple of different weapons. You've got Warp Flame pistols, Plasma pistols, or Inferno Bolt pistols. You can give them a disc, and they can all have the Prosper and Kopesh as well. Now, the Disc of Tzeentch will, with 1 per model in the box here, you'll be able to give a model 12-inch move, fly, and the cavalry keywords, but it will lose the infantry keyword. They've got the Sigil of Corruption, where each one of them will have a 4-up invulnerable, and Lord of the Thousand Suns aura allows you to get reroll hit rolls of 1 out from around these models. Each of them knows 2 psychic powers and can attempt to manifest 2 in each psychic phase as well. Lastly, we have 20 Rubric Marines. These are the standard Space Marines for the army. Rubric Marines are pretty nice. First of all, they've got a couple of additional special rules where Arcane Automata allows them to automatically pass any morale test they're taken, and the All is Dust, each time a damage characteristic of 1 is allocated to a model in this unit, add 1 to any armor saving throws. In addition, model in this units do not suffer the penalty to hit rolls for moving and firing heavy weapons. You've got a couple of different specialized weapons like the Soul Reaper Cannon, which is heavy 5, strength 6, -3 AP, damage 1, and the Warp Flamer as well for a strength 4, -2 AP, damage 1 flamer. Now, you've got, obviously, the baseline Inferno Bolt pistol as well, and the Inferno Bolt guns. These are -2 AP bolt guns, so they're just a little bit better at punching through armor than your average Space Marine. Looking at where to go next though, and certainly, like I said, we've got the potential to build 3 units, as you could build 2 units of 5 and 1 unit of 10 in that initial box, But we are going to be just over that 1,000 points anyway with that initial box. So why not build 2 units of 10 of your Rubric Marines and then grab a cheap unit of either Zengor or Thousand Suns Cultist to fill in that other troop support, so that way we can take all 3 of those HQ options we have available to us. Now, Zengor definitely have a little bit more combat punch to them, and the Cultists can take some special weapons in the unit, which is probably the biggest thing going for them. Both these units are pretty cheap, though I will say that the Zengor here do come in the Combat Patrol box set alongside the Terminators we'll be talking about in just a sec. So a good way to potentially try and get some extra models at a cheaper discount once again with another cool box set. Now, the Zangor Shaman is a elite choice you can take. Mainly got him here. He just continues the Zangor theme if you're going. He is the Bestial Prophet, so when a friendly Bay or Enlightened unit is within 6 inch, they can add 1 to their hit roll, so he can make his Zangor that little bit better. And on top of that, he can manifest a psychic power as well from the Discipline of Change. Lastly, we have the Scarab Occult Terminators. They're going to be rocking around with their Force Stave on the character there, and the Prosper and Kopesh on the rest of the unit, which are -3 AP, damage 2, +1 strength of weapons. You can choose to take a heavy Warp Flamer or a Soul Reaper cannon in the unit. This is either, a decent AP -2 heavy flamer, or you can go with a heavy 5 strength 6 -3 AP, damage 1 Soul Reaper cannon. You can also choose to take a Hellfire Missile Rack, 1 per every 5 models in the unit, which is a heavy 2 strength 8 -2 AP, damage D3 weapon. Now, they've got a 5-up invulnerable save. They've got the same All Is Dust and Arcane Automator rules we've already talked about from the Rubric Marines. And so here we have our sample army list. Now, obviously, we've got a Supreme Commander detachment that is going to include Magnus the Red. We've gone for the Warlord trait, so we're not having to select any psychic powers on him. Now, for the rest of the units in this army, I've not actually put any psychic powers down on this list, and that's on purpose. I think there are so many psychic powers in the army, really suggesting any is going to be, dependent on how you like to play with the army. Do you like debuffs? Do you like buffs? Do you like damage? What do you want to do? It's worth having a look through them all yourself and trialing and taking error. With Magnus in your army, you've got all the ones in there already, so it's worth playing around with him and seeing which ones he thinks are necessary, for the army. And these are maybe the ones that you can double up on with your Swirl casters. Indeed, there might be ones that, like Magnus always casts because they need to go off, so you're using his bonuses with, and then you can go, well, these are the ones I would have cast next with Magnus, potentially. So you can maybe put them as your secondary casters. Now, we then have 3 Exalted Sorcerers. All of them have the Inferno Bolt Pistols and the Force Staves there. One of them will be mounted on a Disc of Zinch. We then have 2 units of troops for our Rubric Marines. They're going to have Soul Reaper Cannons and Warp Flamers in each unit, and they've all got the icons of the flame. Then a unit of 10 Zangor, our last troops choice in there, with Auto Pistols and Chainswords, Brayhorn and a Herd Banner, along with the Tristor Bray Champion. Our last unit is a unit of Scarab Occult Terminators. We've got a Hellfire Missile Rack, the Occult Sorcerer there with the Ardent Automator, and then we've also got his Inferno Combi Bolter. 3 of them will have Prosper and Kopeshes, and 1 of them will be equipped with the Soul Reaper Cannon as well. If you've got any thoughts on Thousand Suns, especially with this box set as it's called, let us know down in the comments below. Like I said, you can really pick up the majority of the stuff here. The Zangors and the Terminators will get you a couple of extra models if you choose to go with the Combat Patrol, which I think is a good place to start for your Thousand Suns after you picked up this first box set. And so that is the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and drop us a comment down below letting us know what you thought about the video. If you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our little community here, you can do so over on the Cinderful Gaming Discord server, which is linked down in the video's description. Also, if you'd like to help support the channel, you can do so either by joining Patreon or YouTube members, or grabbing some merch from our Teespring or Ko-fi stores, all of which are linked down in the video's description. Anyone who helps support the channel, we are greatly appreciative of. For our Patreon and YouTube members, we'd like to give you all a shout out for everyone who does support the channel. So thank you to our Patreon members: Christian Weir, Soren, Kenny Lyle, Outer Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Q Dynamic, Anthony B, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, Bloobs, Benjamin Swallows, Redman, and DeHaven, Kevin Bowman, Iron Grinch, and our YouTube members: Greenridge Gaming, Kenton Young, Ronya, Lockdoric, the Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Ariana Edwards, Revenar, Pink Nico Fire, Robin Mankiller, Monty's Tabletop Terrain, John Castle, Davis Weir, and James South. Lastly, a special shout out to Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork you see on the channel. Thank you so much for all the work you put in on that end. With that said, everyone, don't forget to like and subscribe. Once again, stay safe, stay well, and most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.